Hi guys, this is Boho with the info, and we're coming to you live here on another show for this week. And I thought I'd change things up because I've had some people kind of talk to me via email or messaging about where not too many prepper channels have actually gone into where they're getting their food, or maybe not just with that, but what's on sale basically on any grocery stores when it comes to their food. Also, other ideas for prepping if you're prepping, or basically consumers where they can save some money with their food and their grocery bill. Also, with people that are living in the van life, van city, van life kind of stuff. Um, and it's traveling, and that's their home, and they're living out of their vans or their SUVs or vehicles or whatever. And they may not have access even to where to find the deals on certain things when it comes to food, or even items that you might need for prepping, or items for your home, wherever it may be. And so I thought we'd talk about that in this show this time. And also, kind of like a consumer alert awareness and awakening. I'll put a consumer awakening on the whole 9 yards of this. And I think once a week, we almost need to talk about this part of it too, because everybody else is awake on a lot of other different subjects, but evidently they're not awake enough on the consumer end when it comes to our goods, whether we consume it with food or whether we consume it in items that we buy at a store for our house or our RV or our prepping or stocking up or whatever. So people come to me and kind of show them some different things that's happening in my neck of the woods. Maybe same, there's some similarities for you guys that you can use the examples and research that I do on this to show you guys the same way how you guys can do it maybe there at home. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is basically food, because food goes not only for your prepping, but for even consumers buying food at the grocery stores, also the van city people living out of their vans, RVs, or vehicles. Sometimes they spend $50 on groceries, and they're buying like all the top end stuff, and they don't know how to budget themselves better, or they don't know where to find bargains and deals. So this whole show is made up of that, bargains and deals. And this will help everybody. This will help the prepper. This will help the consumer that's living at the house. This will help people living out of their vehicles, um, RV people that are traveling. Okay, all that stuff. So stay tuned. Make sure you get a piece of paper and pen and notepad. Write your notes as we go. You can always reload, rewind my show, and play it again. And also, take everything we say with a grain of salt. You can do your own research, but we don't make claims on anything whenever we show stuff medically or otherwise. Okay. So let's get into it a little bit here. And first thing I'm going to talk about, since I'm stationed here in Florida, that we have different types of grocery stores like Winn-Dixie, Publix, Walgreens, etc., and so forth. And many people don't realize that sometimes they can get into pre-ads of stuff and look into sales deals, and they need to check out the versatility between each product. Like, for example, last week when Dixie had corn like for a dollar, which was like a quarter of a ear. So, this time Publix has it like five of them for $2. You've got to watch the wave of food when it goes on sale. I'm going to give you a very heavy hint, clue, code, whatever you want to do, is anytime that there is a holiday sale, even if for the minor type of holidays, take full advantage of it to stock up your pantry, to stock up your van, to stock up your house on anything that you might need, whether it's food, stuff for the pantry, paper products, etc., and so forth. Now, um, to help budget yourself better, everybody thinks, oh, you can run to Walmart and get things, and you'll get things cheaper. Not necessarily. Okay. You got to understand, Also, their name brands and store name brands are a um, not as high quality as an actual name brand item if you're a name brand person that buys stuff. But if you're going to save yourself money, especially in the times that we're living in right now, you've got to think outside the box and think about not only store brands, but think about off brands. Okay. Um, and also look at the quantity. How much are you getting for that price of that item? Compare it to other items that are in the same type of situation. So, for example, you've got to watch grocery items like the stock market. One week it will be up, and then the next week you'll have a holiday and it'll be low. And then the week after a holiday, everything goes up high again. It's exactly like a stock market. Okay. So you've got to learn how to shop that way. You shop like a stock market situation. Instead of investing money into the stocks, you're investing money into your food supply and your goods that you need for your home or whatever, or prepping, whatever. So you have to play it accordingly and buy things only around the holiday. After a holiday, um, the week after a holiday, usually items go up high. Usually 1 week before a holiday, they're still pretty high, and only the week usually of the holiday is when things go on for the best deal. Makes no difference what grocery store you are in the United States, but that's usually how it works because of their marketing program, the way they're working things. Um, and again, um, you've got to be aware of if they're rotating the items off the shelf. Um, you'll find not so quality grocery stores that are not rotating their items, even in the dry good area properly. And you might see weevils in their flour or um, their grits. You could see um, items miscolored in glass containers, like relish or jams or marinated pickles or whatever. Okay. Um, be aware of it. Compare it to things side by side. If it's not the same color, then don't buy it. And if it is a weird color, take it up to the customer service booth, talk to a manager only, and let them know that their quality is not up to standard. Um, that's a couple things. Now, we're going to talk about Publix for a moment because like other YouTube channels like Christy Coupons and a few other ones, they do a great job with just couponing and things like that, saving money. And so do other ones would find things on clearance or whatever. We're taking this into a different aspect about comparison shopping with ads. And I'm getting the information 1 week earlier. So for those out there that want to know what week I'm covering, I'm going to put it on this one here so that what I'm showing you is going to be 1 week in advance of what's going to happen. So, for example, many of you guys, if you're living in the South, probably already got your Publix, Winn-Dixie ads and all them. And I'm not going to go through all the food ads, just comparison on the top ones, okay? And then a couple other ads. But anyway, stock up item wise for price wise, as I'm targeting and looking at good pricing wise at Publix would be the baby portobello mushrooms, where two of them are for $4. Normally they run 2 for $5, so you're automatically saving $1 there, right? Also, they have a thing here where you can get $10 off with a $50 gas card. So if you buy a $50 gas card, and let's say you don't use it right now, but you use it later on, you can get $10 off your whole grocery bill if it's over 50 bucks. Okay. So this will take down the actual pricing itself of your whole grocery bill of $10 alone. Okay. The other thing is, and that's if you buy a gas card now. The other thing is people are asking me, there's always snacks and there's always, snacky stuff that's usually most on sale, but right now everybody's like targeting meat because meat, dairy, what did they say? Meat, dairy, and produce right now because everything is going sky high, especially in the beef area. Well, with Publix, they have an area called Green Wise. Sometimes you can get alternatives to meat instead of getting your full beef round or whatever you normally get, to think outside the box using other derivatives that have a protein count. So, like I say, you saw on the first page they had baby portobellos. That is a good source of protein in there. You do get $1 off, so it's like what the price was, but also ground chicken. It's different from ground turkey, okay? But you can still do it when you make like casseroles, dishes, tacos, Mexican food. Sometimes you go, that way. Um, Also, look at the whole Greenwise brand itself. Sometimes the Greenwise brand under Publix is cheaper than the name brand brands that are out there in the store. So the good deal here would be what? The Greenwise ground chicken, you buy two, get one free. So, and these are at least 1 pound packages. So you're getting 3 pounds for the price of two, basically, right? And then you also have 4 grain brown eggs. I've never seen them come down this low, and that's a really good price, 2 for 4. Usually they run around $5 a dozen, so that's an excellent price. But you got to remember now, with your food, when you buy it, prepping wise or otherwise, even for your house, you got to look at the time of the year when the food goes down low. Right now, there's probably a plush crop of chickens, so they're hatching a lot of eggs, and so they have a little bit of a bumper crop on their chicken eggs, right? So um, this one here would be your brown eggs. So of course they're going to be putting them on sale for 2 for 4. When before during the wintertime, you're probably paying 5.39 a dozen kind of thing for brown eggs, right? So that is a really excellent deal for brown eggs. And this is very comparable to when the other eggs go on sale, which are best eggs, I think they call them. They're a white egg, but they have like B12, B6, and all that in them. And they have them on sale for sometimes the same price, 2 for 4, 2 for 5. When you get a brown egg has a higher count of iron and protein in it than a white egg does. And when you find them on sale like this, you better grab them, because you're getting your substance a little bit in higher quality than you are with white egg. Okay. And I know there's going to be a lot of myths out there saying, oh no, they're all the same kind of thing. So you go with it. This is my opinion, whatever you want to do. Also, too, baby carrots, 2 for 4. They're on sale there. Sometimes it beats getting the other one, but some people like the natural ones. So it depends on your preference. Okay. And I'm just going to graze through this ad because a lot of people don't realize that, okay, if they say, well, hey, I've got a Winn-Dixie and I got a Publix both in my neighborhood, but most of the time I go to Winn-Dixie because I'm trying to save money. Well, are you really saving money? You're really not. Now I'm going to show you why in a little bit here. Here's another thing for if you want some protein count, but you can't afford the beef, something called Beyond Meat. Now, there is a big thing about that where everything is lab grown meat. I have not done a complete study on that yet or research. I did taste it for the first time yesterday. Um, and they do add a lot of seasonings and other flavorings to it to make it taste like it. But I don't think it would be something I would want to eat on a regular basis. It does not taste like tofu, um, but it's got a different taste. Um, anyway, if you're just looking for the substance for those preppers out there or van people that's just looking for some protein, can't afford the beef part, then they have something Beyond Meat, Beyond Beef here, which is a plant-based ground piece of whatever in 16-ounce packages, or buy one get one free. So it's up to you whether you want to do that or not. I don't know. Let me see what else here. And then sometimes you always want to buy and check out the buy one get one free. And I'm not saying that that is the best deal. You really have to look at how many ounces you're getting for that buy one get one free. how much it is per one of them, break that price in half, then break it down into portions on pricing, right? Also here, let's see, we got Hillshire Farm lunch meat, 3 for $10. I don't know if you guys are into that. Sliced cheese, and so on and so forth. But I want to get to is sometimes preppers prep into produce. Okay, so they'll prep up vegetables. Sometimes they'll prep up fruit. Uh, some people freeze some of this stuff. A lot of them can it. So yeah, I'm trying to get to that area here. Also, I don't know if you guys are aware of it, but sometimes you can marinate Oscar Mayer hot dogs and marinate them like you do the making the hot sausages with the vinegar and the hot, same way you can do the same thing with a hot dog. Look into YouTube, and there is some channels on YouTube that shows you how to pickle meat, and I found out that it's really good with what do you call Oscar Mayer hot dogs, and you stand them upright in a canning jar and you pickle them that way. So yeah, it's kind of interesting, different, but at least you can then the meat, you know what I'm saying, for a later time. If you have a dehydrator, you can take shredded cheese and dehydrate the shredded cheese, store it in a vacuum sealed bag, and then put it into your pantry. And then later open it up and so on and so forth, right? Okay. Right. Now, produce is a good area to talk about for prepping, stocking up regular pantries for the house, for the RV life or van life stuff, okay? Because there's many ways you can store produce. You can dry it and then store it that way. You can can it and store it in dry good area. You can freeze certain things in Ziplocs that way. And then, of course, refrigerate, right? Now, refrigeration has the least amount of time, right? You have 1 year for any kind of frozen type produce, usually, if you package it properly. If you can it, you can have up to about 3 to 5 year range for canning on any kind of produce. And if you do dry, usually if you have dehydrated packs within the actual dried pack of the vacuum sealed package with the dried out produce, then you can basically get away with that for up to 5 to 7 years, usually, if it was done right. Now, I know of different communities that are trying, I already seen corn and onions being already dehydrated as well as canned. I've heard of people actually drying watermelon into what they call like fruit roll-up stuff. And the same thing with cantaloupes. And what it is they just basically take the cantaloupe and the melon, kind of blend them together or keep them separate, but they puree it up like you would baby food in a blender, but then spread it out like jam in their food dehydrator. And then basically dry it out and it becomes like a fruit roll-up when it's all done. Green beans, I've seen them dried. Not seen too much of them being, I've seen some pickled and some canned, but mostly dried on those. Squash is not a good thing though. Potatoes. Potatoes can be dried and they can be canned. I've seen a variety of both very heavily. I'm not seeing too much of them being frozen though. Let's see what else here. Brussels sprouts, I've seen those canned, not dried. Let's see, grape tomatoes. You can dry those kind of like sun-dried tomatoes. And you can also can those and regular dry those. Let's see. Sweet peppers, let's see. I've seen them done similar to a sun-dried way as well as a dried way. Let's see. And you saw those ads because I'm just posting them so you can see the picture while I'm talking to you. So you can see this is all the next week's ad. Mangoes. Very, very good idea for prepping and then and stocking your pantry for later. Right now, there is such a huge bumper crop on mangoes, it's unreal. And mangoes are loaded with vitamin C. Loaded. Um, and also too, mangoes can be used for other things besides the actual vitamin and mineral content part, as well as an actual fruit count when it comes to what you're eating. The skins alone, I've heard, are very good for your garden. Um, Basically composting, but everybody knows that with any kind of food situation. But mangoes can also be used as a tenderizer for some of the toughest meat. So let's say you couldn't afford your normal meat and you had to go to a very low quality meat because the beef prices are so high. You could sit here and take a crushed up and parade up mango and put it in a Ziploc and store it in your refrigerator for about 24 hours, and it will tenderize it to the point of having the prime beef that you've always wanted to buy. Okay? So, yeah, I'm just giving you some tidbits here. Also, strawberries, excellent for drying. Right here, you see the sale, buy one, get one free. Strawberries, excellent for drying, really good for freeze drying. And if you like canned items, then that'd be good too. California cherries now are a little bit more labor intensive. You got to get that pit out, but they're better basically for canning than they are drying. Uh, we got peaches and nectarines. I've seen it done both ways. And those who like jerky, the peaches and nectarines are really good if you do them in strips without the skin and you dry them like dried fruit. Fruit, really good, and it, chewy, just like a beef jerky situation. So yeah, all right. And then blackberries, raspberries, good for freezing, more likely than drying. Okay. All your berries that are small like that are better for freezing than drying or canning. Unless you're making jam now. If you're using the small berries for jam, then that'd be the better way for storing your fruit than actually canning the fruit. Let's see what else here. I think that was about it. I wanted to show you. Yeah, I think so. All right, now here is Winn-Dixie. And the reason why I'm going to pick on them is because I basically busted them already, and I've already called headquarters on them and caught them almost in a consumer fraud situation. Almost, okay? I'll say almost, okay? This is their headquarters. If any of you guys ever have a problem with the food quality of your food coming from Winn-Dixie, like let's say your produce is bad and you get the same problem over weekly with it, then you call that number. If you have dry goods on the shelf that might be bad, you can call that number. And so on and so forth. Maybe you're even buying stuff on Amazon and it's still getting bad. Uh, Again, you can call the corporate number on Winn-Dixie because you want to get to the root of the problem, right? So yeah, I'm just leaving that up there so you guys know exactly where they're at. But here's the thing. You've got to be aware of how they're rotating stock in a grocery store. It makes 100% a consumer awareness on this because people just go in the store because they want to socialize or they just want to get away and shop, or women just want to shop, or they just want to go for the sales and that's it, or they just like shopping. I don't know. Here's the thing. You really need to be aware of if they rotated the items off their shelf. And what I mean by that, yes, you're hearing the washer in my background. Um, what I mean by that is that you have to look at the dry goods and see the dates on the dry goods. Okay. Most people are in such a hurry that they'll just take it, basically putting the trust in the grocery store and the managers and all the employees enough that the stuff should be safe for you just to grab and go. And it is not. I'm going to bring this up to a consumer awareness. It is not. This store, I've been repeatedly catching them with unsafe products. I'll put it that way. So even though they might have some good sales, like they have weekend sales, these are the weekend sales and stuff that's going to happen. I hope you guys see all that. I don't know. Let me see if you're seeing all that. I think you are. All right. That right here, this is all for next week where you're seeing the ads. One thing you got to be aware of is the weekend deals. Are they really a good deal on the weekends? This one on Winn-Dixie runs from Friday, Saturday, and Sunday only. Not all the time are they good deals. What happens is they'll take items just out of their flyer, but they happen to have a lot of, but they can't move it because it's at a high price. And I'm going to point this one out here, which is this strip steak at $7.99. That to me is not a deal. Whether you're prepping at home, whether you're in the van, whether you're anywhere else, that is not a deal. Okay, and you got to look at the quality. How much fat and gristle is on it? Bone, maybe bone. You know. So when I was looking through this whole ad, I'm like, well, there really isn't any good deals here from what I'm seeing, because this goes into another page and says, well, if you're a chicken lover, maybe $1.89 a pound for some of the boneless chicken breast value pack. Yeah, maybe not. I don't know. But, you know, really, it wasn't shocking to me that this was a deal. This wasn't a deal to me. Okay. So I'm looking through the whole ad and I'm looking at it versus the Publix ad. So you guys know how to do this up top where you have a bunch of windows open here. If you don't, learn how to do that. But what you need to do is open up an ad like I have here to another grocery store ad and compare the actual pricing to the other store. Now, for example, this asparagus at Publix was $2.99. Here is $2.49. It's only 50-cent savings, but if you plan it right and you go through the whole store with a fine-tooth comb on where you're going to save your money, then it might be possible for you to go to that store and just grab those items, okay? Or Winn-Dixie, Publix, right? So again, I was looking at the cherries. Cherries are $3.99. You know, was that a deal? Well, you got to go look. You got to compare, right? So I went into this further, and here is the biggest. I don't know if I can get to the page or not. I'm going to see if I can get to the page. Give me a minute here. But just to give you an example for produce, this is not the meat area yet. I don't know if I can do the meat stuff. Well, let's do some meat. Meat comes before produce, I guess. But everybody will jump to, oh, well, this is buy one, get one free. That's a deal. No, it's not. You need to look at the bottom area, which is the pricing underneath the actual item, okay? So these are shoulder steaks and country style ribs. Okay, you're buy one, get one free. Okay, so I pay for the price of one. No, here's the thing with Winn-Dixie that you got to be careful that's not doing it with the other grocery stores. Winn-Dixie will write underneath in fine print to equal or lesser, or sometimes they'll say with a total of two of them, you'll save X amount of dollars. That's where the potential of consumer fraud can come in, okay? Meaning they're trying to sell you on this marketing point of buy one, get one free, but it really isn't, because they've included in fine print down underneath that that's two items, okay, and they're only going to save you X amount of dollars on those two items, which is really not a deal. Okay. Now, also too, you still have to look at the pricing. Okay. So like T-bones, here's a perfect example. Knowing the times of year when products will be higher or lower pricing. Okay. About right during the pandemic, I believe it was, and maybe a little bit before, they had T-bone steaks at Winn-Dixie as low as $5.99. Now they're $8.99. Why? Because spring has gone by. The births of all the calves have been born, and maybe some of the older cows went to market there in the spring, and that's why they were at $5.99. We're in summer now. The new cycle starts of life for the cows, so the beef will be higher priced. This is not even accounting the actual what do you call it, price index right now just on food. This is only according to how long a cow lives, how long a pig lives, how long a chicken lives, when all their youth is being born, and what times a year does all this stuff take place. This goes as well as in seafood. Okay. So it's kind of like watching the stock market. Okay, let's see, the end of February, going into March, April, May, or March and April is springtime. That's when all the younger animals get born usually, you know, unless they're doing it, unnatural way. Um, and so the older cows, they take the older cows and they bring them to the slaughterhouse. If there is, here's another thing too to give you a heads up on when you're planning your pantry and prepping. If there has been a major flood, like we seen, what was it, last year in North Carolina, remember, and they had all the pork plants where they were shut down and there was shortages and stuff. Well, that affects the meat commodity on pork alone, not only for price index, but the supply. Okay. And a lot of people, there's a lot of pork products that goes into food that people don't even know about, like Spam and stuff, or lunch meat. Okay. Um, So yeah, that can have effect not only on how high the price will get, but also how much in demand, or how much, what do you call it? How much supply there is of it. Just kind of like the same way with toilet tissue, right? When that happened with a shortage, it's the same way when it comes to food or meat. Okay, so that's why it's important for you to think outside the box. What are other substitutes of other protein products that you could have? And I know there's people out there and many patriots out there says, well, hey man, I like meat, and I gotta have my meat. Well, what are you gonna do when there ain't no meat? Do what the army did, spam, right? Or whatever. Canned meat. Yeah. And that's all more reason to watch it like a commodity year round, every quarter. One, you'll see other items go up and other items go down. When they go down and it's at the lowest point throughout the whole fiscal year, that's when you buy a bumper crop of it. You put it and you stock it, you prep it, you put it in your pantry, you can it, you dry it, you freeze it, you do whatever you got to do, right? So, yeah. And again, these prices are all current for next week that you're seeing. And this goes for fish too. You remember you guys have salted cod? Well, there's ways you can salt fish, you know. There's also ways with what they call grab locks for like salmon that you can also smoke and dry, maybe. hmm So here's the thing: hot dogs you can pickle, right? You can have meat later if you're that desperate. You can sit here and smoke salmon, dry it out, use it for later, right? You can salt fish, and this and everybody thinks, well, you can't salt anything else but certain fish. No, you can pretty much salt any fish and dry it that way. But you can also do it with shellfish, like shrimp. Let's see, oysters. You've seen the canned oysters, or you can can them, canned oysters, I guess, if you want to. I don't get into that. Maybe you guys do, but anything in the mollusk family basically can be smoked and canned. You know what I mean? And if you want to know, well, what's the mollusk family? That's like your mussels, your clams, your oysters, your stuff like that. Stuff that comes out of a shell. All right, we're going to skip some of this. And you guys know that you can dry cheese, right? Dry cheese out. Sometimes even your emergency supply companies will run shortages on stuff. So you got to know how to deal with it. Okay. Okay. Here's produce part. This is where we're going to do some comparison shopping with Publix and what's a deal, what ain't a deal. So like your pineapples are $2.99. That's about almost not the lowest point I've seen them. I've seen Aldi have pineapples for like $1.49, but they are lower than Publix. Okay. Here it is, your corn. Look at this, how they're packaging. This is all trickery, marketing trickery for the consumer. Okay. You're getting $3 for four, not even full cobs of corn. Okay. They cut the corners off, which is like what, 5% of the, or 5 to 10% of the cob. So look at the pricing. Okay. You've got three of them for $4. Or no, you got four of them for $3. Sorry, I had that backwards. So you're basically paying more than a buck a piece, or a little, yeah, three, yeah, something like that. Anyway, you do the math, you know. And then same thing with the huge, big, oversized mushroom caps or portobellos, 2 for $7. You got to know how to deal with it, you know, stock it away. Here's the big scam here: blueberries. Okay, and how they package them. Both my father and I have seen where they first had them in 16-ounce packages, then they broke it down to 8 ounces. Still selling it with more per the item than what it really is worth. If you go to Publix, let's go to Publix. Let me go to the produce section. Maybe they'll have it. I don't know. We'll compare what we can compare with them. But blueberries should not cost more than like 2 for $5, 2 for $6 at the extreme most, 2 for $6 at the extreme most, right? And all right, where is it? What's that? When Dixie has them, and it's not just blueberries, but it's like blackberries, raspberries, blueberries, even sometimes strawberries I caught them with. Okay. So you want to look at how many ounces. So right here, okay, I'm going to look at this with my magnifying glass, and these are, all right, so here's a comparison shopping clue. This is buy one, get one free. Don't let that fool you. These are 6-ounce boxes, okay? But the blueberries in organic, let's see, are $3.99, okay? But the regular ones that are organic raspberries or blackberries are $4.99. Buy one, get one free. So we're looking at blueberries. The blueberries are organic, so that's a step up. They're 11-ounce packages, so it's a little shy of 1 pound, okay, for $3.99. Now, Winn-Dixie has organic as well. And let me see how many ounces. Okay, these are 8 ounces. 8 ounces of blueberries, 2 for $7. Okay, so you are basically paying $3.50 for 8 ounces worth of a blueberries to Publix's 11 ounces for $3.99, and they're organic, right? $3.99 for 11 ounces to how much I say on this one? What's my thing here? 8 ounces. 11, so 8, 9, 10, 11. That's 4 ounces of difference. Okay? You have to price things out where you're going to save your money, right? You got to know how the marketing strategy happens with consumer alerting yourself with how they're trying to scam you. These grocery stores are going to try to scam you for your money, take you for a ride as much as they possibly can. Okay? So you have to do the comparison shopping. Now, everybody's going to say, well, hey, you know what? I go there for because I like it there because I get good quality. Well, do you really? Quality and quantity have a major factor on how they're pricing stuff, okay? Just like supply and demand, okay? So you have to look at where these berries came from. Even though it says it's USDA approved, okay, I can guarantee the same thing with Publix. So there's nothing that is off brand or weird or anything when it comes to quality. The same quality is there, okay? Now, don't get me wrong, you might want to buy something else like Nathan hot dogs or buy one get one free or Luigi's and stuff. But then you want to go see how much is the price. Here's the thing, if you guys got a smart device, like let's say a cell phone, download the app called Flip, Flipp. When you're in a grocery store and you're shopping for certain items that you need, go into the store first. Before you go to that store, go into that app, check out your store that you're going to shop at, find out what your items are that you're shopping for if they're going on. They've got many grocery stores on that Flip app too. They cover everything, I think. All right. So that's one thing. Now, when it comes to prepping otherwise for your van, for your, let's see, your van, your RV, your home, your prepping area of stuff, whatever it may be, you have to look into other things. So there's another area here. Sometimes people don't always think outside the box with, like your hardware stores, but this one is called Harbor Freight, which is kind of like a construction company that you look for on things, okay? And you wouldn't think that they would have batteries. Well, here in the South, we've already started hurricane season. Here's the thing, this is part of your prepping. This is year round hurricane preparedness type stuff on top of what you already have to deal with. And we've started hurricane season. No matter how severe or how light it is, it's still something that you got to get prepped up for so that when it comes time that a storm happens, at least you know you already got your supplies in your prepping supplies or your pantry that you don't have to rush to that store to go get. This is something I'm trying to teach people year round. It seems like everybody's like, well, you know what, you're a pack rat. No, I'm not. I'm a prepper. Things you want to hang on year round, things you want to get even on the off season. Even if it wasn't hurricane season right now, and let's say it was the prime of winter time, sometimes you get really good deals on batteries in the wintertime because they know people buy stuff for their kids that are toys that needs batteries, so batteries go on sale, right? But there again, with batteries, you have to look at the dates on the batteries. How long will they last for? And don't store your batteries near anything in heat because heat sucks the energy out of the batteries. Okay. Same thing with like heavy duty, all purpose weather resistant tarp. For those that are prepping or even just in hurricane season and they need right? You want to look at things on this website and see what's on sale to see what they're going to be pushing or, where the deal is going to be at to save you money now, later, or before. Okay. Also, this, how many of you guys say, okay, well, it's hurricane season, I'm going to need flashlights? Not necessarily. You got to remember, they got some of these other things, they call them flip lights, LED flip lights. Okay. Or they've got battery operated LEDs, or they have solar energy LEDs. Any of that stuff is good not only for your prepping, good for your hurricane season, good for your RV stocking, your whatever home stocking, any of that stuff, right? And by the way, the ads I'm showing you are going to be current as of the date I put that's scrolling around on the bottom of your page. Also, too, if you're involved with a natural disaster, whether it's a flood, a tornado, a hurricane, a earthquake, whatever, Sometimes you need materials to rebuild with, and you need things to clean up with. Just like this 9-gallon, 4.5 peak horsepower wet dry vac. $60. I remember when those things were like over $100. Okay? You've got to take advantage of the sales for different things. You've got to make yourself either a list or a mental list of things that you need year round. Right? And again, like I say, these items that I'm showing you are good for the following week that I've got scrolled on the bottom of your page there. And it's good for 1 week too. All right. Who's thinking about this? Full trash water pump. Why would you need a water pump? You never know. I mean, a hurricane can hit, you can get flooded, right? Or if you're in Texas, remember what happened in Texas past year when all that snow and the water pipes broke? You need a water pump, right? Here's another thing people are not thinking about. This is a metal .30 caliber ammo can. It's just the can, no ammo, no gun, no nothing. Just the ammo can, the thing that holds the ammunition. Okay. Think about this about making, for those preppers out there or anybody living in the life of it, wherever they may be, to make that into a Faraday cage for $11.99. That's on sale, $11.99. And you can make that into a Faraday cage. If you don't know what a Faraday cage is or how to make one, go into the YouTube stuff, look into Faraday cage, how to make a Faraday cage. And with this, that would be an excellent device to protect all your cell phones with, or radios and stuff like that. It may not hold a computer, and it may not hold a laptop, but it might hold a tablet. Depends on the size of it. But for $11.99, you still have to sit there and line it with the proper materials to change it into that Faraday cage. Again, I'm giving you ideas to think outside the box, but at the same time to save you money doing it, and for your own, well-being of everything, right? And again, for those who don't know what a Faraday cage, go research it on the YouTube thing. You'll know what it is then, hopefully. And again, here's another tarp for 27. Let's see what else here. Yes, I'm having coffee if you're wondering. How many people we got on here while I'm continuing? Oh, very good, very good. Okay, good. All right, here's another thing we need to talk about is some people pack their vehicles with tools or emergency supplies or prepping supplies. And look at the tote bags that have a lot of pockets. That is the best way to go in an emergency. Okay. If you're a prepper, maybe some of your prepping items can go in this and be fully stocked, and all you have to do is grab and go, right? If you're a city van person and you need tools for on the road, grab all that stuff, grab and go, right? If you're a home person, same way. Put your items in there, grab and go. And even if you, let's say, stock this with canned food items or dry goods, it's another great device to grab and go. Let's see what else here. All right. Also, you got to look at Harbor Freight for like different types of things that you might need for your vehicles. Whether you're an emergency or you're a prepper, whether you're a vanner, whatever you are, okay, sometimes they'll have items for your vehicles that are cheaper to get there than it is at an auto parts store. So, for example, let's say we're looking for brake stuff like this thing here that's on sale. Um, it's a uh, 14 ounce chlorinated brake part cleaner. It's a cleaner for your brakes. Okay, $4.99 for 14 ounces. Again, even in the industrial area, not besides food, but the industrial end of it, meaning stuff that you'll need in fluids for your vehicle. Um, you have to look at how many ounces of that particular item you're getting for the price. And you do again, compare that to other places that might have that same thing. So if Harbor Freight might have it, you might have it at an auto parts store. Look at how many ounces it is for the price. Is it on sale? No. If it is, yes. Is it cheaper? Maybe. You know, um, same thing. Looking at hardware stores. Hardware stores may have this same kind of brake cleaner, right? And again, all these items that you're seeing are for this next week coming up. It's running around, scrolling down the bottom of your thing, I believe. Let me double check and make sure it's still scrolling. Yes. Okay, it's still scrolling. Um, so here's another thing. We've got battery testers. You know, you can test your batteries with. That's a good thing to know, especially if you're prepping batteries and putting it in your stock and you're storing it for 6 months or more. You want to kind of test those things to see how much juice is left in them. Same thing if you're storing, let's say, vehicle batteries for your car, RV, van. Okay, test it. See how long. See how much juice is in your battery. You know. What else here? Hand winches. Now, that is a good prepper item there because hand winches can be handy for not only helping you maybe prop up a wall for a house that you might be building off the land or some kind of tent maybe using natural wood and trees, but it also can be used for getting vehicles out of trouble, you know. Um, really good item there. Really good item. That's only $18.99 for that one. It's a half a ton capacity for a hand winch. I don't know. Some people like the electric one or hydraulics, whatever, but that one's a hand one. Also for your boats, if you're boating, whatever you're doing, you know. All right. All right. Let's see what else here. All right. Let's see. Knife sharpeners. Now, this is kind of an interesting thing because there's not too many prepping channels that talk about sharpening your knife other than using a stone. Um, it depends on what type of knife you have. If you have a machete, no, it won't work on that. You're definitely going to need a stone or something for that. If you have a pocket knife, yes, then these little knife sharpener things will work, or any kind of kitchen knife will work on that. It's not the best thing for kitchen knives, but it depends on the quality of the knife. Whether you're prepping or at home or a van, you've got to look at the quality of the metal of the knife that you're using, whether you're using it in the van and you're cooking by it, or whether you're using it out in the woods to chop wood with it. You have to look at the type of metal and where was it made. Was it made in China? It's probably made cheaply. Okay, first of all. Second of all, when it comes to food knives, you basically want a like a German type of knife or one that is solid and has a good steel content on it. That's going to be a research item on you guys on your own end, on your preference of what you like and not like. But I've noticed with my German knives, I stand by them. They last me a long time. They keep it edge better, and they have more durability, that meaning the blade doesn't break as easy. So that's something you guys got to be aware of, even in a pocket knife. Like you'll see Swiss Army knives. I swear by those because I do like the Swiss knives. If I can get it in a cutlery knife, I get it myself that way too. If it was a Swiss knife, if it wasn't, then I go to German. Um, so yeah, and not necessarily is it a brand thing that can sell a knife. You have to look at, again, learning and knowing and researching the content of what the metal is made with. And not too many preppers out there talk about that. Not necessarily is quality going to be the item, not necessarily is the low cost going to be for the item. You have to look at how long it will last you, the durability of it. Let's see what else we talk about here. Hang on, let me get a sip. All right. Let's see here. All right. Now this is another thing for those who have a van, or if they do a lot of camping, or living off the land, or have a garden even. You can take this green, they call it farm all-purpose tarp type thing, and actually create a greenhouse on your land with it. And what I mean by that is you take 2x4s into a A-frame type of doing, you know what an A-frame, like a triangle shape kind of thing, right? And you put that tarp over it and you put your plants inside, and that'd be like your greenhouse for if you're living at home, right? You could also use it for for those who have a really high yield of weeds that they can't kill, um, that comes back and recurs, whether they dig them all up or whether they put chemicals on it and it still comes up. This works better than any of the lining that you could possibly buy that you line the ground with and put plants through. This seems like it has a higher tolerance than that. And also it creates a moisture barrier too, which gives you more moisture into the soil. And it keeps it for a longer lasting time. I've noticed that with my pots. I'll take a little bit of that. And also coffee filters, guys. Coffee filters last a very long time for moisture in the soil. Really good to keep it in there for people that are like having high drought situations. That item, the green tarp and or the coffee filters, last a really long time. So if you can find materials of these two, that can help you a little bit with your gardening, not only at home, but if you're out on the land or prepping or whatever. Also, too, if you are vanning, good awnings, to have for shade. Also, too, you have to need some of these buckles and ratchet ties. These all can be not only for prepping, for gardening at home, for on the road, for emergencies, everything. You know, really good item to have. Very versatile for many different uses too. So that's that. Let's see. Also, we're going to talk about a little bit about Home Depot too. And again, everything that I'm showing you in this is going to be for this next week. These are just highlights of everything that I kind of caught my eye that I'm like catching with you guys on stuff. But now springtime is a lot of time when people are doing a lot of at home interior designing, changing around, spring cleaning, all that stuff. And we're going to talk about other ideas using some of the items here for all of it. Okay. So, uh, let's see. Let me find it. Give me a minute. So this one is coming up is for next week for Home Depot. And here is a lot of stuff for your gardening. Okay. So there's a lot of garden stuff because we're in springtime. All that's on sale. Mulch, okay, can help reduce drought tolerant areas around your home so that you can grow your own fruits and vegetables. Okay. Um, I kind of mix that in the soil with manure, and I also use something what they call water beads. They dehydrate and hydrate with water. I mix that all together with compost into everything, and that's where I grow very successful with gardening. Okay, so again, if you want to know what that is, that's mulch with manure, with water beads, with compost mixture. Okay. So the mulch is on sale, whether you want to use it for landscaping or actually use it in your garden, that's up to you. Um, but yeah, and then plant food if you want to use plant food. But if you have a good compost, you may not need the plant food. But I've noticed if you're doing tomatoes, tomatoes are very successful with your leftover coffee grounds that you already used, plus the filter that you used it with. Put that in the pot, and you'll be very successful with your tomatoes. Very successful. And the actual coffee filter will help you maintain some moisture in that soil too. Especially when, like here in Florida, we've been under a drought situation and not too much rainfall. Uh, so yeah. All right, let's see what else. Giving you ideas and things you're seeing on sale, but also ideas for outside the box on other things, right? And fencing, that's up to you. If you guys want to do fencing, that's on sale. So yeah, all right, let's go back here. Hang on. All right, so these cabinets, that's what I'm going to talk about. People that are in the van life, um, they're always looking for like furniture to put inside the van, and you can't put normal size stuff. So sometimes they look at like bathroom vanities or hall tables for a piece of their furniture that goes in their van for like making an area to either cook with or store their clothes in, or to cook and wash their dishes with or whatever. And a sink vanity is really perfect if you find a small one to use and utilize for um, inside the vehicle with. Um, what was the other thing I want to show you here on the page? There's also other supplies and stuff that you might need too, like tape, screwdrivers. Um, what is this? Hang on a minute here. Also for hurricane supply stuff too. Okay, so where was it here? Okay, so like this blue tape, okay, it's multi-surfacing, meaning that you could use it on plastic, glass, wood, stucco, maybe, I don't know, your painted walls, all that stuff. Not only is it a good item to have to like deal with your vehicle and build out your vehicle with, and you have to like paint something or whatever, but also to keep things maybe at bay, and also to give you new ideas in arts and crafts, or if you're trying to create a job on the road, you can use this product for maybe art projects that you're selling art on the road with. Um, Many uses. Caulking the same way, keep water out. Seal your van with. Um, Seal things in your house, especially around pipes, because in the South we have a lot of different types of weird bugs, and people would never think about using caulking or other derivatives around their pipes to seal the wall so that there's no more bugs coming through the wall, right? So, yeah, just giving you that little tidbit. And who knows, it might happen up north too. If you got holes in your van, caulk it. Maybe use that foam spray even, help you seal it. Let's see. Here's another one that people don't think outside the box with. Joanne Fabrics. It's down here in the South. They have ideas not only to decorate your van with and things that you might need necessity wise, but also for preppers. Um, Look right now during the springtime because every time we change a season, so does these craft stores. They change seasons too. So you'll see like candles 50% off or more. You'll see candle holders. You'll see oil lamps. You'll see storage containers and things on sale. Same thing in hurricane season, right? Hurricane season, you're going to need all that stuff right along with prepping, you know. Um, Also, lights, you know, if you have a Jackery portable unit for your van or your vehicle, you can get these little patio lights and use that inside your vehicle for lighting. Um, and gardening too. Look at the gardening stuff. You know, we got terracotta pots. So you think, oh, hey, only Home Depot and Lowe's and Walmart and all them might have terracotta pots. No, the craft people have them too. Take advantage of that and all their planting containers. It's not just terracotta, but they might have actual other pots that you can plant your garden in, your fruits and vegetables. They also have like cooking utensils and things, whether you need it for your van, whether you're camping, whether you're prepping, whatever. This goes hand in hand even for think about hurricane season. Like if you didn't have any electric and you had to cook outside, you're going to need utensils and pots and things like that to utilize outside to cook with outside, right? Same thing with stoves, you know, or grills or whatever. But most likely you'll need a stove because they won't let you do any kind of grilling, you know. So yeah, let me go back to that page so you can see here. Now another thing, I'm going to talk about one more store too. Um, See all these different containers you can use. You could sit here and grow like where's my pointer? Like this one here, since it's on a hanging plant, you can actually grow tomatoes upside down. You can grow strawberries and some of the other plants like that. These other ones here, you can do a variety of things with herbs. You can do other vegetables in those stands and so on, right? If you're, you know, on the road or even if you're at home. Okay. Now, another thing I wanted to share with you guys some savings. In the South, they have a store called Save a Lot. And I don't know how many of you guys um, got a flyer in the mail, but this one happened to have a magnet on it, see? But what this is an actual coupon thing, okay? And each week they have 4 coupons that you can utilize. This was mailed out direct. This is direct mailing. So, for example, um, we're into this week here, and they've got limes, bread, bacon, and cheese. So you got to look at the items. What can I do with the prep to store all this stuff? Well, you can dry out your cheese. You put that in storage. You can dry, and you can also what they call sugar can the limes. The bacon you can cook and dry, and you can can that. And then the bread, well, dry it out and make breadcrumbs, and you can have that for later. So for those who want to save money just on the prepping alone, okay, and let's say you're getting it at the maximum limit, so you're limit 2 on these, so that's $4 there. You're allowed 10 of these, so that would be 50 cents. So that's $2.50 there. For this here, let's see, you're allowed 2. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. For $8.50, you got your bacon at the maximum level, and 8. Uh, for your bread, that'd bring it up to $10. So for $10, you can sit here and prep those 4 items and prep them up to store in your pantry for a later date. And then you would have 2 of these, 10 of those, 4 of them, and 2 of these. And that's enough food for almost a week, week and a half. Depends on how you plan your meals. And you got to look at the nutritional value. You have your vitamin C and your citric acid and all that stuff. You have your vitamin D in this. You have your protein count in that, and you have your starch and your other stuff for your breads. Now, I know I'm showing you like a complex way of saving things, but it's something that you guys got to think about year round. It's nothing just for hurricane season. This is now, since we've gone through the CV situation, it's something you've got to think about as clockwork all year round and take advantage 365 days a week and have your head on a swivel to constantly keep saving you money. This is how you're going to get ahead of the racket that's going on. Okay. Next week, I might show you some more stuff that's happening. But for now, this is all I'm going to be showing you. And I hope you guys catch the drift of what I'm trying to teach you guys. And next time, you just never know what we talk about. So take care of yourself. We'll see you next time. Thank you for coming. Bye bye.